Crystal Palace, let's go to them, shall we? Let's segue on to their performance against Chelsea, because they've been so much better of late, haven't they, Miles? And taken some really big points, and this one was huge. Chelsea in that first half looked, again, like they did in the last couple of games, like they would be out of sight and probably should have been. But Crystal Palace in the second half, it's a whole different game completely. And Chelsea, they need to take their chances, basically. But Palace will be relieved that the half-time whistle came first of all. But Glasner just worked his magic in that second half. It seemed to galvanise the players onto a different level.
Yeah, and similar to how we were saying about Eddie Howe and Newcastle, just the intensity of the Crystal Palace player pays off. And the fact that they can keep that up for 90 minutes is really encouraging. Chelsea, yeah, you would expect them to have won this game quite comfortably, particularly based on the first half. But Palace never let their heads drop and organised themselves so well. And defensively, they look really strong. A lot of Chelsea's opportunities are ones from distance or ones that are kind of first-time shots because they haven't got time to get through a defender. But if you look at that Palace defence, obviously without Chalobah because he's on loan from Chelsea, Richards, Lacroix and Guéhi were outstanding again. And you've got there in Marc Guéhi someone that every Premier League club must be looking at right now and wondering if they can tempt him away from Palace, because he's sensational. He's such a good centre-back. And Chelsea must feel so frustrated that they've let him go in the first place. And Lacroix has proved to be an excellent bit of recruitment as well, and Glasner's getting a lot out of them. So it's a great run from Palace, and it doesn't feel like much of a surprise. This is kind of the Palace we expected at the start of the season, because it's what we saw at the back end of last year. I'm glad that that's starting to come back together.
Well, I don't think defence is a problem for them, really. It's scoring goals. No. They just don't score many. I think there's only like 3 teams that have scored fewer than Crystal Palace, but Mateta's scored this one, assisted by Eze as well, late in the game, Dave. But I think deserved, just for that second half fight back and the spirit they showed. It's much improved from Palace, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think there would have been a lot of worried Palace fans, I think. Come a few games ago, we were talking about them, and, we were worried for them, weren't we? Weren't they really? They were on this barren run. They just couldn't get that win. All of a sudden, they're looking like the team that we were giving so much praise at the end of last season. Mateta's finally up and running. Eze, obviously, and Ismail Assar, I think, looks like it could be a real find for them. It's interesting to see what happens now. Obviously, they've recruited so well over the last 18 months, couple of years, and finally got this, found the coach, and they're happy with the system, the football that they're playing. Like you say there, Miles, if a big club does come in for Marc Guéhi, it'd be interesting to see if they replace him with a former Chelsea player as well, in Fikayo Tomori.
Maybe. They did well to hold on to in the summer when Newcastle were offering him really big money, and that tells you Palace, he's their captain. Palace want to build this side around him, and I can see why. He's definitely the kind of leader that they need. I just wonder whether at some point the pull of European football comes in and whether that can be quite tempting. Chelsea could do a lot worse than going back to it, to be honest.
Very true. Yeah.
I think there's always going to be a ceiling for that kind of player, and I think we're gone are the days where clubs are going to come in and pay 90+ million for.
They've learned from Harry Maguire.
We all laughed at Van Dijk for the fee that he went for back in the day. I just think clubs are more realistic now and becoming more price conscious. I struggle to see anybody come in offering probably more than what Newcastle were offering in the summer. I could be wrong, but like you say, there probably will come a time when the big players, of his ilk, can probably want to look to go to make the leap up to European football. That's something that probably Palace are capable of doing if they keep on the trajectory that they're on.
Well, I thought they would be. I think we all three of us kind of assumed, didn't we, that Palace would be mid-table at least. So it'd be interesting to see if they can climb. But Chelsea...